Hello, can you hear me? Great. Welcome everyone to this third day of the AICT sponsored online faculty development program. And we had an event today, so I'm joining from somewhere outside. But we have a very good speaker for you. We have a very good trainer. We are joined by Shakur Radar, who's the founder of Science Matters, and he has been with India AI. He's been working with India AI for a long time, and today he's very kindly consented to be with us. So, welcome, Shakur, and over to you for the session.
Thank you so much, Kamnaya. Good evening, everyone. I'll share my screen. Just a second. Hi, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Kamna, can you confirm? Good evening, everyone.
Shakur, you're on mute.
Yeah, is my screen visible now?
Yeah, your screen is visible. Don't unmute yourself. That's all. Yeah,
Don't unmute like.
yeah. I'm saying uh, you are muting yourself, so don't
Okay.
unmute.
Okay, yeah. So let's just start. Yeah. Uh, Hi, good evening, everyone. We are here today to, discuss GenAI for filmmaking, storytelling, and hospitality. I'll be taking you through the different use cases, the tools, and then the challenges and opportunities that are there. A little bit about me. Yeah. As I have been introduced, I won't spend more time on this slide. So a little bit about the history of artificial intelligence. AI, Gen AI, kind of caught our imagination in a few years ago, but AI has been around for a long time, right? It was the famous British mathematician, Alan Turing, who asked this simple question that can machines think? And that kind of, prompted this concept of, artificial intelligence, basically uh, the science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by men. And there was a research paper also published on this in the 1950s. A little bit about what AI, traditional AI is, and how it differs from Gen AI. So basically, it's a subset of artificial intelligence which is used to perform tasks based on predetermined algorithms. Uh, it excels at carrying out limited set of tasks. So here's the difference. It's restricted. AI was in itself was restricted in its scope because the data sets were restricted, were less. Some of the examples we've all played, games like chess and Spider Solitaire on computers. So those are some examples of the traditional AI. And then Siri, I know Siri now also uses a lot of Gen AI. All these tools are basically now moving towards Gen AI. Autonomous vehicles being another example there. So generative AI, is basically capable of generating outputs such as text, images, and other data, and text from images from text, and videos from text, and even videos from images. So what kind of defines generative AI is it works on a large database or data sets, which are like of the order of billions of tokens, right? So uh, uh, so Gen AI, it analyzes data and produces new content. That is the key here. It produces new content. It doesn't just stop at X plus Y is equal to Z. It kind of analyzes data and then predicts also. Gen AI is powered by, we know, foundational models that can multitask and perform out of the box tasks. These foundational models, we call them LLMs as well. Uh, uh, you know, we know the examples of OpenAI's ChatGPT. Then there's Claude by Anthropic, Sora, DALI, and so forth and so on. Then there's DeepSeek, Grok. The list goes on. And by the time we are speaking about all these tools, I'm sure a new tool has been launched already. This is the artificial intelligence landscape. There is development of computer systems to perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. Then uh, we have machine learning, which is a subset of AI that enables computers to learn from experience without being explicitly trained to carry out such tasks. And a lot of examples, I think we can give from our day-to-day life. Netflix recommendations, right? Then Spotify is there, dating apps. They all use machine learning, basically, trying to understand our behavior and then giving us recommendations based on that. Then under that comes deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning, which uses neural networks, for data processing. Neural networks, as the name suggests, kind of they do the data crunching like neurons in humans do, right? Basically, making sense of the data and crunching it. And under all this, then comes the generative AI, which is a subset of deep learning, generating content like text, images, or even coding based on simple input. So yeah, these are some Gen AI tools that, uh, like I said, there are many more, but these are some of the Gen AI tools which we will be talking about today a lot, because we will be focusing on video production, filmmaking, and hospitality. And you'll see a lot of usage of these tools, be it ChatGPT, Gemini. I'm sure you're already using many of these tools or most of them. Midjourney, or you've at least heard about them. Then we have Canva. Canva we've been using for a long time. Uh, Runaway ML. Then there's 11 Labs. These two tools are particularly very handy when it comes to filmmaking. Then Perplexity AI is taking over, our search engine now. A lot of search, especially in India, is coming through Perplexity now. Uh, Although Google search still remains the favorite, but it is going in kind of that direction. Then we have VO2, Sora, Snow AI for music and all. We will be discussing these uh, in a bit. So, why are we discussing, generative AI and how it's going to change filmmaking or hospitality, or for that matter, content creation itself? It's because, according to a report by McKinsey State of AI Report 2025, 78% organizations are already using AI in at least one business function, most in, more than one, and out of which 71% organizations are using generative AI particularly in at least one business function. Yeah, so let's see how generative AI is being used in real life. Uh, First of all, generative AI, I think film production is something which has been open to technology forever, right? We used to have like humans doing the stunts, and then came the VFX and other technologies which were kind of adapted really well by the film industry or video production industry. So generative AI is fundamentally kind of transforming how films are now made, from just ideation to the final delivery, to the final cut, to the final product that you see. It is the workflows. Generative AI cuts across overall workflow of filmmaking right now. And it was in the making, but Gen AI has kind of accelerated it, because all the mundane and the repetitive tasks were already being replaced by technology. But with Gen AI revolution, that process got a little accelerated. Not little, I mean, it got accelerated a lot. So from ideation, rapid concept generation to visualization, and now you can visualize how your script would look on a screen, uh, and even create storyboards upfront, rather than going there and doing it by trial and error method. And similarly in the post production, there are automated editing workflows. Like they say, filmmaking, a film is made on the table, on the editing table, right? But now you can actually visualize how the film will look like. So what that does is, you might ask, why are we using AI tools? So what that does, it reduces, one is it kind of takes away the mundane tasks, so that the filmmakers and others associated with the industry can focus on more creative aspects of filmmaking. And then there is, cost incentive also involved. It reduces both costs and timelines, significantly, because in film production and kind of distribution, timelines are very important. So that is where AI is helping. It then also empowers creators to explore, bold new storytelling formats, and experiment with, the styles and also, where the resources are, where you need very resource intensive industry. Uh, these are, like I said earlier, these are some of the essential AI filmmaking tools that are there. Starting with Runway ML. I don't know if you've used this tool before. It's a text to video generation tool. It uses sophisticated visual effects, uh, you know, uh, and is being used by a lot of modern filmmakers. Uh, and then there is Synthesia. Synthesia can help you develop avatars, right? Which can be used to kind of simulate how the delivery will look like, rather than just going through the auditions. You can have an AI avatar of a person delivering script content, and with kind of remarkable realism, what we have seen over the years with this technology developing every day. uh, Synthesia is available in 140 languages, and there are a lot of Indian languages also there, including Hindi, Bengali, and other languages. Then there is Kabar AI. This tool transforms simple text prompts into cinematic video scenes, and you can control it, also through different options that are there in this tool. Pika Labs, this is a film creation and animation tool. You can just put in your descriptive text or a prompt, and it opens up several new possibilities in which you can you can use animation in a movie. So yeah, pre-production, like I was saying, script writing. There are a lot of tools now for script writing. Uh, uh, there used to be a time, when a script writer may have a writer's block, right? But AI can help, overcome that writer's block by generating compelling plot ideas, which have like natural dialogues, complete scene structures, using tools such as ChatGPT is there, of course, but there are other good tools for writing script like Jasper AI is there, then there's Sudowrite and many more. Then storyboarding. Storyboarding is an important aspect of filmmaking. The way you want to visualize how the script will look on the screen. So that is where tools, AI tools like Midjourney and Leonardo AI, they help visualize entire short sequences from simple text descriptions. Which kind of helps enables rapid iteration. Then we have concept art, DALI 3. We will talk about a good use case of DALI 3 later on. And then stable diffusion. These create detailed locations, costumes, and even props. Right? You can see it upfront that how a crop will look like a scene. Would look like in a certain race it with some other prop, or for that matter what kind of costume will go better with a particular scene with particular lighting. So that is where the role of DALI 3 and stable diffusion comes in. And this entire process can be done within minutes rather than waiting for days altogether, going through rehearsals, having people redesign the sets, having designers rethink over props and costumes. That is the power of generative AI. Then, like I said earlier, casting simulation, rather than going for days altogether, having people to audition for a role, you can actually have their AI avatars and test their expressions and delivery lines for a particular role, and then decide whether that person is actually fit for a role, and this can be done within minutes. So overall, if you see the impact, what is the impact of all this? The pre-production time gets reduced by almost half, which also allows filmmakers to experiment creatively, before they commit to costly shooting schedules, right? Then uh, during the production and post-production, there are several use cases there as well. For example, real-time scene composition, uh, and even virtual set extensions. Then we have AI assisted camera tracking and motion capture also, which makes it really easy to kind of uh, that makes that entire process of production very easy and smooth. During post production, we have tools like Runway ML, which automates transitions, and it can also help. There are many other tools also which can also help in background removal. One such tool is remove.bg. Uh, AI also generates, realistic VFX. Like we were talking about VFX, how VFX took the whole entire process of movie making to a different level altogether, uh, including 3D scenes, explosions, and weather. We had, tools like Maya and others for such for such use cases, but AI is now taking it to a different level altogether. Then we have tools like Topaz Labs and Da Vinci. They offer intelligent color grading. Color grading is something, that can make or break a movie, right? If there were some gaps during production, during shooting, uh, these tools can help, create a good color grading for the entire cinematography. Then we have Murph AI, tools like SoundDraw and AIVA. These can help, compose soundtracks and even generate dubbing. I know we talked about Suno AI also. That also can be used to create music. Yeah, so The Frost, I don't know if you watched this movie. This is considered one of the first AI generated movies. This was kind of an experiment which started in 2023, and then with the advancement in Gen AI technology, there were iterations and there were additions in 2024 as well. Initially started as an 8-minute movie, but uh, then it became a 23-minute movie, a very gripping movie, about an kind of an apocalyptic scenario. And this entire short film was generated using tools like DALI, which helped generate images, and then DID added movements to those images. Uh, there were no cameras, no live actors, no traditional filming, just a script, and that too could have been, generated using AI, right? So what does this prove? The Frost. If you have time, it's on YouTube. You should go and watch it right now. If you have not watched it, it kind of demonstrates, AI's capability to generate cohesive visual storytelling, while sparking crucial conversations about how humans and AI can collaborate in creative processes. And the takeaway is, AI filmmaking kind of enables entirely new art forms and makes. And when you go through that movie, you'll see that it's kind of a landscape of how the technology developed. As you start, the images, the scenes are a little, raw. You'll feel like, it's not quite. What it should be, but as the movie progresses, the technology also progressed. You would see that marked difference by the end of the movie. So yeah, so it makes visual storytelling genuinely accessible to even low budget creators worldwide. I know a lot of these tools are not free, but there are, as many as paid tools come out, there's always a free tool that is also launched. Uh, so yeah, that is the power of open source AI. Uh, so AI powered story generation, like I said, entertainment industry has been very open to technologies, not just Gen AI. So screenwriters can craft alternate endings for their script, develop complex character arcs with AI assistance. Then uh, it's used in gaming, education, marketing. Uh, we have leading tools like ChatGPT, of course, is the most used tool, and Claude for narrative writing. Like I said, Pseudo Write for fiction authors, Novel AI for interactive experience, and Storylab AI for script ideation. These platforms not just assist writers with plot creation, they can also help develop dialogue generation, and even small nitty-gritties like tone adjustment. which kind of reflects in that dramatically improving the productivity while also maintaining some sort of creative control. So why is entertainment very uniquely vulnerable to the technologies like Gen AI? Because entertainment industry is very text driven, right? We have stories, scripts, advertising copy, and reviews form the kind of foundation of everything, because a visual or an image, it comes from basically text, right? If the text is right, if the script is right, that is why if the script is right, you expect a good movie to be made out of it rather than the other way around. Then it's a visually rich medium, right? You have characters, you have sets, backdrops, visual effects, which constitute the major part of production elements. Then entertainment industry also frequently builds upon and remixes past content, using inspirations, right? Creating patterns that AI can definitely learn, because that is the power of Gen AI, learning from data, behavior, making sense of the data that is fed to it, and kind of trying to create something meaningful out of that raw data that is fed to it. Then studios, they do demand lower costs and faster turnaround to remain competitive, because if they have to remain competitive, they will have to churn out something very creative and different in a very short span of time. So that is where the role of Gen AI comes in. And Gen AI, we all know it's trained on a vast amount of data, uh, and it provides abundant and generative AI and entertainment. Uh, for generative AI, provides uh, abundant training material. Uh, yeah. So in this AI in filmmaking, there are kind of two perspectives, two experts. One is by Jonathan Taplin. He is an American writer and film producer. He's kind of very critical of using AI in filmmaking. And then we have the Wes Borges. He's kind of he's I would say he's an optimist. He's all the cautious, but he kind of sees positive things that AI can bring in media and filmmaking. So what are Taplin's concerns? He thinks that copyright is copyright infringement at scale. How do we control that? Because Gen AI models are trained on everything available on the internet, right? Which often which where is true also, because it often disregards copyright protections and intellectual property rights of original creators. We saw something similar with Ghibli, right? So that art form was totally taken by OpenAI without the consent of the artist or the person who had the copyrights of that art. Then there are concerns of displacement. This is a huge concern because we've seen, since Gen AI came in, there are a lot of protests have happened uh, in uh, in several places, uh, because AI kind of threatens to replace writers, right, artists, and other creative professionals. Uh, so it'll obviously impact their livelihood. So there have been protests. There are unions now, which are talking about why AI should replace creativity. I mean, AI's there are theories that AI's job should be to do mundane jobs. Uh, so a US author I remember said that AI should be doing my making my coffee and laundry, and not doing painting and storytelling, right? So there are these perspectives. Uh, then there are, like, these concerns also. Taplin's One of the concerns that Taplin has is that we might get we might have a scenario where all these creative things look like very similar, because Gen AI is trained on existing patterns. So that might kind of worsen this trend, rather than encouraging something originality or something new. that creative minds can bring in. And finally, a small number of creators already captured disproportionate revenue in the industry, entertainment industry, and GenAI could narrow this funnel even more, benefiting already established players, legacy film production houses and all, and marginalizing emerging voices. So that is Taplin's. These are some of his concerns. While as Bergquist's optimism says that since AI is already embedded in production, so certain sectors like say post production, visual effects, streaming, and gaming have already begun integrating Gen AI. So there's it becomes natural for us to find the best scenarios possible on how to use them rather than just being critical of this technology. While he also acknowledges the real risks, he recognizes that there are significant concerns, including misinformation, potential unsolved intellectual property questions, like I said, and even lack of readiness among traditional studios to adapt to this culture and process. Then, current Gen AI functions, according to him, function best as collaborative tool for brainstorming, concept development, and iterative refinement, rather than as a complete substitute. He says that AI is not going to completely substitute what humans do, but it is kind of a co-pilot and intern as an assistant. It can act as an assistant to the already creative people, and take away the mundaneness away from this. So, what are the challenges? We spoke about all the good things that AI can bring in, and then the optimism and but what are the challenges actually? What are the actual challenges that AI can bring in? So, first is creativity and originality. Like we discussed, Gen AI may reinforce existing formulas and patterns. Very formulaic movies, you'll see a lot of those because it will, at the end of the day, it'll think about which movies will do better in terms of market, which could actually hamper development of genuinely new ideas or fresh perspectives. Then job displacement we discussed, intellectual property disputes we discussed. Then there are ethical and reputational risk also, deepfake like content, misinformation. Then there's potential misuse. For example, what if you create an avatar of a very famous actor and use it, film after film? Who has the rights over that avatar, right? Or if somebody, if someone has actually passed away, is no more, but was a great actor, but now we can, through Gen AI, we can bring them alive, and those they could be acting in these Gen AI movies. So how much ethical is that? So these are some of the challenges that are there. Then there are adoption barriers also. Some of the studios, small studios, especially, they might find it, they might lack the infrastructure needed to adopt this technology and integrate it into their studios. While these the opportunities are substantial, the risks also, they require not just guardrails, but kind of governance, regulation, maybe policy evolution, so that these concerns can be addressed effectively. Uh, these are the opportunities we spoke about already, so I'm not going to repeat it again. So yeah, let's delve into now what uh, Gen AI brings to hospitality. Uh, there is, yeah. So hospitality, I think, is one sector which had, again, like film industry, it was open to technology for a long time, and COVID-19 kind of accelerated that process. And right after COVID-19 came the Gen AI. So a lot of uh, lot of these big chains, they already have integrated Gen AI into their workflows. Uh, so, what are the different areas wherein, what are the different use cases wherein Gen AI can help in hospitality sector? First is guest interaction. This is something very crucial for, I think, hospitality sector, because Chat GPT and tools like Rasa AI, they can help develop, very powerful chatbots for seamless, uh, reservation and concierge support available 24/7. The first thing that you, when you go to a hotel, you call someone, and when they don't come in, you kind of feel like, the service is not good. So that is where the power of AI can be, utilized, because AI can be very prompt in the response, at least, if not the service. It can at least address your emails that you send to hotels, before checking in. Uh, you can kind of get those answers very quick, right? If you want a smoking room or non-smoking room, do you need it on a higher elevated floor or not? Such, things can be easily outsourced to generative AI. Then customer service, again, there are tools like Heyday and Ada. These provide automated platforms that resolve queries instantly while learning from each interaction. They're also, at the same time, when you use these tools, they keep your data, which we will come to later, how ethical that is. uh, and then they learn from your each interaction, and every time you book through these, through the same chain, your experience will get very personalized and also better with time. Then visual content, uh, the hospitality industry needs a lot of marketing, right? It also needs interior design concepts, uh, and also, they use a lot of advertising campaigns to stand out in the crowd, right? How to uniquely place their property in a huge market where there are so many new players coming every day. That is where, tools like Mid Journey and Dali can help. Then again, written content, like I said, it forms the basis of every creative pursuit. So Copy AI, Jasper AI, these create compelling promotional campaigns and personalized guest communication at scale. So yeah, here are a few case studies. There is Marriott International. They have, like I said earlier, the big players have already they have been using and experimenting with generative AI for a while now. So they have deployed. Marriott has deployed AI chatbots that enhance booking and travel experiences through natural language interaction, because that is very important in this sector. The system not only it analyzes customer feedback in real time, enabling hyper personalization, like I said earlier, across their global portfolio of properties. Then Hilton, this is very interesting. They deployed Connie. It's an IBM Watson powered robot concierge, which offers, guests detailed information about the property, directions where they can find the breakfast area, where they can find different uh, where they can find the different restaurants, what are the different locations around that property, which are the touristy areas, which mode of transport they should use. So Connie helps in these recommendations, personalized recommendations. Uh, then there is another use case, by Cafe Rouge. This is a UK-based chain. They utilize generative AI to create a lot of eye-catching promotional visuals, and very enticing menu descriptions. A lot of us, we see the descriptions on Instagram, or we see the visuals on an Instagram page, and kind of we feel like, right, going to that property, right, visiting that property right away. So these descriptions and these images help in marketing a lot. So that is where a lot of these tools are helping. Additionally, if I have to say, virtual concierge, They can be available round the clock assistance. They can provide round the clock assistance. Like I said earlier, personalized recommendations for dining and entertainment, marketing. Overall, if you notice, Booking.com, Expedia, and Agoda and others, they are using Gen AI now extensively for trip planning. You always get that pop up, or you always get that email in your on your phone that these are the uh, these are the properties you might like. They are in your, they know that what your potential possible budget could be. So a lot of AI is being used in hospitality. So yeah, these are the key use cases reshaping this industry: chatbots, virtual concierge, then automated content creation, then personalized itineraries. We discussed them in the previous slide. Uh, then some advanced AI capabilities, language translation. So this is very important because you might go to, say, a Southeast Asian country, and you want to know about, uh, you go to the hotel desk and ask them for details, and they may not be able to speak your language properly, or you may not be able to speak their language properly. So that is where Gen AI can come in, can break down that communication barrier with real time translation services, enabling seamless interactions with international guests across, not just multiple languages, and even it will provide that cultural context to everything. uh, then streamlining back office processes. This is very important because there's a lot of inventory to manage in the hospitality sector, and there are a lot of administrative works that go behind the desk. So, and this is work that doesn't even get acknowledged, right? From a customer's point of view. So that is where AI can help a lot. Uh, Bringing in higher value, guest interactions also. Mm. Then visual and video generation, we spoke about. Uh, Add to that virtual tours, uh, immersive experience, providing immersive experience of a property. If you go to a website, you can get an immersive experience of a property beforehand. You could even get to know, where what exactly your room would look like before even actually going to a hotel or a property. Then we have our restaurant. Then monitoring equipment and facilities to anticipate issues before they impact guests, right? Reducing downtime and maintenance costs. So yeah, 24/7 guest support, quick booking modifications if you need them, room upgrades, service additions through conversational interfaces, uh, personalized recommendations, and also intelligent escalation to staff members. It may, who can, if you raise if there are complex queries or sensitive situations, AI can at least, escalate that situation to the human attendees. Then, what are the measurable, benefits of or the return on investment when it comes to AI in hospitality sector? If you What we discussed till now, it gives us, there's a multiple dimension to it, from enhanced guest satisfaction to significant operational improvements. And when we say enhanced guest satisfaction, that means bringing in more business, right? If you get the best of the experience at a property, you are very likely to go back to that property again, or at least you're very likely to recommend it to others as well. So that kind of helps in the revenue growth. Then there is better guest experience, cost saving, increased revenue. These are all related things. That is where AI can be your co-pilot. So yeah, so the best strategy would be, uh, how it can give you advantages is, faster marketing cycles, AI powered content creation. uh, we discussed it in filmmaking as well as uh, in hospitality, how it can help in maintaining the brand consistency. Then also providing analytics. I think analytics plays a huge role in the hospitality sector. So it can help reveal guest behavior patterns, preferences, trends to inform, strategic decision making for the future. Uh, Now here again, there are certain challenges like in film production. Hospitality also has certain challenges. One is privacy and data protection. Like I was saying earlier, uh, we have to ensure that these systems are compliant with the data protection regulation, because they may because hospitality sector is one which gets a lot of data. It gets data about your choices, about what kind of you know who do you bring with yourself. It gets a lot of personal insight in you, about even about your finances, what kind of things you like. So how is that data being used? How private will that data be? Will it be misused or not? So that is one concern. Then hallucinations and bias. This is kind of general in Gen AI and AI itself. So managing AI accuracy issues and addressing potential algorithmic biases could affect service quality or fairness. I have some examples to share later on about the bias. How AI can actually accelerate. It can actually accelerate that AI bias which is there in humans. Then integration complexity, connecting AI systems with existing property management platform, engines, and operational tools, staff training requirements, investing in comprehensive training programs to ensure teams can effectively work alongside AI systems. There has to be, human intervention has to be there at all the points. The human in the loop has to be there across the systems. We cannot leave that to AI, especially when we are dealing with people. Uh, so that balance needs to be there. So, what does the future look like for the uh, hospitality sector when it comes to AI? We'll have multimodal AI, seamless integration of text, image, voice interaction for natural guest communication, smart rooms with Internet of Things, connected environments that automatically adjust to guest preferences for, say, lighting or temperature control in a room, or for that matter, what is the in-house entertainment that is present there. Then we have AI-driven menu design, uh, dynamic menus optimized for dietary preferences, seasonal availability, and predictive demand. Then edge computing, localized AI processing for faster response times, uh, enhanced privacy, and offline capability. Uh, let's if we can uh, just yeah, I wanted to know. Yeah. So so if you can, I don't know if you've used Deep AI. If some of you, I mean, if you can use Deep AI or any other image, you know, developing tool, AI tool, uh, and create any image, which you think is what is at the top of your head when it comes to AI in filmmaking. So you can create any image and then share it in the chat, because I have been seeing for yeah. Are you able able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There's a little
Yeah,
lag.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we can have 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, we can have 3 to 5 minutes. Where you can use this tool DPI. I don't know how many have used this or other tools also. It's not whatever you have on your phone. Maybe quickly uh, create something and share in the chat. You can use this prompt that I have that I'm typing in the chat. Let's see what kind of images, what kind of images you are able to create. Okay, one more minute. It shouldn't take long. Okay, while you are at it, you can share in your sweet time. So I'll move on, and we can others can also. I don't know how many of you have used in video for making videos. This is a very popular tool, that is being used especially to make quick reels. Very informative reels you can make through, and it's a free tool to use. Who has used in video? Can you tell me in the chat? Or which other video tools you've used? Am I audible? Free pick. Somebody mentioned free pick. VN. Okay. All right. Any other tools? Nobody has shared Blink. Okay. Nobody has shared the image till now. It takes I think it doesn't take more than a few seconds to develop, maybe a couple of minutes to create that image. You can even use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a little slower, but it'll also give you that image if you use that uh, if you use that prompt. Okay, moving on. Uh, so yeah, so this is an era of avatars, like I said. Uh, for the past few years, we have seen a lot of avatars being developed, and it's now as easy, to develop. You can develop it using tools like this, just bath. Just through simple, you just have to give it your photo, and a couple of minutes of recording of your voice, and it'll develop an avatar for you, uh, which you can later use for different purposes. So these avatars, there are already a lot of AI influencers on uh, Instagram and other platforms, which are actually uh, earning a lot of revenue, and they are not even real people. So yeah, another interesting use case for AI. Although I wanted to see which other tools you have been using, but I think yeah, we'll move on. We don't have that much time. If you create that image or a video, yeah, please share. Please feel free to share in the chat. In the meanwhile, because we have a lot to cover. So I don't know if you've heard about this movie called Blind Spot. It was this movie was it's a documentary basically. Boston Sunday Globe worked on it. They used AI like Pinpoint, Google's Pinpoint, to kind of make sense of a lot of data, and they came up with this documentary which uh, won Pulitzer Prize. This is again, I have given the link here. You can watch this documentary and see how AI helped uh, in this investigation, and how AI can be a co-pilot to human creativity and investigation. Yeah. So then, a little bit about prompt engineering. Your results on generative AI will be as good as your prompts, right? So, to be good at using these tools, I think we need to have a little sense of what prompt engineering means. So, basically, prompt engineering is the technique of designing and optimizing prompts to guide AI models, particularly LLMs, uh, towards generating the desired response, like I said. So, how do you do that? By carefully crafting prompts, you provide the model with the context, you provided the instructions and examples, and help it kind of understand, your intent and respond in a meaningful way. It's like, you have an intern and you want some data from them from a certain file. So, what do you tell them? You start with telling them that I need a particular file. There will be a particular name on that file. This will be stored in a particular drawer, and its color is red or black. So you tell them the exact thing what you want, and the desired result is actually what you are looking for. So prompt engineering works in a kind of a similar way. So I'm kind of giving a very simple definition. So how do we make uh, prompts very good? What is somebody might say that what is good prompting? So in a good prompt, you use natural language. You write as if you're speaking to another person. Express complete thoughts in full sentences, and that is not just good for your desired result. It's also good for the earth. It's good for sustainability, because when you batch together a lot of information, it is actually very sustainable use of generative AI. For example, can you give me data on air pollution deaths in India? Because right now the pollution, there's this concern around pollution, especially in NCR. So can you give me data on air pollution deaths in India, reflecting specific patterns in Delhi between the year 2000 to 2025? So if you just tell it, a bad prompt would have been, can you give me data on air pollution deaths, right, in India? It would have been a very broad kind of a prompt, which would not give you the exact data that you want. You've given it the year, you've given it, you can even narrow it down to maybe if you just want data from South Delhi, right? So you can also even narrow it down if you want to know what were the air pollution. what were the air pollution, led diseases during this period. You so it's up to you what if you want a good result, give a very specific prompt to the LLMs. Length is your friend. Don't fear writing longer prompts. You can One thing has to be kept in mind: you have to avoid jargon because that can sometimes confuse the LLM itself. Include only relevant context. Specify goals, times, formats, constraints, context. Right. If you see this another example, it's a very longish prompt, but uh, if you do it at your own in your own time and space, you will see it will give you a uh, very structured answer, uh, rather than just telling it, give me uh, Ayushman Bharat data from hospitals. So yeah, a little exercise I wanted you to do. You can try it now as well as give me examples in the chat box. What is and take any topic and give me an example of a bad prompt and a good prompt. Okay, that is fine. If you are not able to send images on the chat, that is completely fine. I at least wanted you to try it at your own place. So yeah, now you just have to write uh, a good prompt and what could be a bad prompt first, and how can it be made better. What is a way to make it better? Keep it short and simple. So let's see what your understanding is. Anyone take any example like uh, from the film. You can take examples from the film industry. What could be a bad prompt and what could be a good prompt in that sense? Copilot. I hope I'm able to open it. Good that you've used Copilot. There are n number of tools. Yeah, you can use anyone. Any examples of good good prompt and bad prompt? Please share in the chat so that we can have kind of I also know what uh, I mean how you are using the LLMs. Hmm. I can see links. Yeah, I will try to open these links. Nice. Good prompt is create square with side 4 cm and filled with green color. Bad prompt is create square. Right. Yeah. This is one of the examples. Any other examples anyone can think of? Keep doing that, keep sending these. Nice. I can see. Write a 200-word summary of the Matrix movie focusing on the philosophical themes of reality and illusion in an academic tone. Wonderful. Clear link, 200 words, clear topic. Yeah. Bad prompt would have been, yeah, tell me about the Matrix. Yeah, this is how we get the desired result by making it very specific and providing it the context that it needs. Wonderful. We'll move on to the next segment. You can do this exercise at home also. Uh, it's you can you can do this at home in your own time. So, what are some of the cornerstones of responsible AI when it comes to using it anywhere, be it hospitality or filmmaking? First is accountability. So, accountability is key because whether when you're using, like I said earlier, if you're using an avatar or an image of an actor uh, who is not actually a human, and this may have different people might associate with that avatar or an image emotionally. So, what if something goes wrong? What if something, your movie or your character triggers something? Who takes the responsibility? We saw recently how ChatGPT nudged. There's this allegation that ChatGPT nudged a teenager towards suicide. Right now, there are two lawsuits in the United States on that, and there's this whole debate around if it was done by a human, that person would have been uh, behind the bars. But since it's an LLM nudging someone towards suicide, so who takes the accountability? Who is responsible for that? How will law work there? Right? Because you are dealing with something which is not human. So accountability is key. Then data responsibility and privacy. How is your data being used by the hospitality sector? Where all are they using it in? Are they selling it to third party uh, vendors also? Because data is going to be like they say, data is the new gold, right? A lot of your data, because of these hungry LLMs which feed on data. So data is going to be the key in the future. It is the new gold. So people will can do anything with your data. They can sell it. They can use it irresponsibly. So, and what all data is being used? Your privacy. There are a lot of things which you may want to keep private. How is that private data being leaked? Transparency. It's always good business uh, to be upfront about AI usage. If an AI if AI has been used in a movie, it's good to say that we are using AI. If an image has been generated using AI, if video has been generated using AI, it's always good to say that this is an AI generated video. Uh, when you are upfront about AI's usage, uh, you kind of develop trust with the audiences. So that is key. Then fairness. Are you using the AI? Are you using the AI in a fair way? For example, if there's a human who can do the same job in a better way, uh, will you still be using an AI tool? Is it fair to still use AI, say in film industry? Will you still have an AI character rather than a human character in a movie? So how fair is it? Inclusive. AI needs to be inclusive. There is, we've seen with tools like Stable Diffusion and others, uh, they kind of, put these stereotypes at scale. So we've seen the interpretation of the representation of women through Stable Diffusion in the earlier phases was not good. So, is AI being inclusive? Is the data that is feeding these LLMs or these AI systems being inclusive? Is it representational, or is it only putting the same biasness that is there in the society at a scale? Yeah, so it has to be, that bias needs to come out. It has to be representational one. It has to be inclusive of different people, different societies, languages, genders, and then it should also be free of bias because humans are biased and the data comes from humans. These LLMs also have that bias, and they can perpetuate that bias at a scale. These are some of the examples where AI bias came to the fore. For example, this Air Canada pays, it had to pay damages for the lies that chatbot came up with. This was in 2024. Then health, there was a healthcare algorithm, which failed to flag patients of color because the data that was fed to it didn't include a lot of data from that community. We've seen AI, Amazon, Amazon AI enabled recruitment tool recommending only men. So we have to be very careful. This bias doesn't come into these AI systems. Then, the final part of this presentation is deepfakes. Uh, can you tell me in the chat how many of you know about what deepfakes are? Thank you, KJ Prabhuji, here for sharing that. Uh, Radhika, yeah, that good prompt was given by Radhika Vidyasagar. Nice. So yeah, can you tell me in the chat, how many of you know about deepfakes and what do you think about them? What comes to your mind when you think of deepfakes? Anything? What do you think when I say deepfakes? What comes to your mind? Okay. Oh, that image was good. I saw some of these images that you have generated. They are really nice. Wonderful. So yeah. So when we talk about deepfakes, uh, deepfakes kind of, we were introduced to deepfakes. Uh, First of all, what a deepfake is. A deepfake, it's a kind of a sophisticated method of creating or altering media content, such as images. It could be your video. It could be an audio recording using AI. But it's what makes it dangerous is that it's very hyper realistic. And yeah, the first video that we that became popular in India was about Rashmika Mandana video. uh, the Telugu actor Rashmika Mandana. So that is when we thought, actually people thought that it was actually her video, but by the time uh, it was proven that the video was actually not hers, it had been tampered with. But it had gone viral by then. After that, a lot of actors, even politicians, ministers, were targeted using their deepfakes. This is the Oxford Dictionary definition of what deepfake is. And most deepfakes, they use AI to alter video and to generate authentic sounding audio. Uh, they can be used to spread hoaxes, misinformation, financial fraud, and sexual abuse content. And because the a large population still doesn't have those critical thinking skills, uh, to kind of say that, oh, this could be deepfake. Even someone if they have critical thinking skills, I don't think they will be able to say when they look at a deepfake that this is real or or fake. That is the unfortunate part of AI, that we have now started to not just question fake things, but also the reality itself. The concept of reality itself is under scrutiny now. So this is how it started. These were earlier technologies of tinkering with some video, but looking at it, we could tell that something is off here. This cannot be Will Smith, right? Uh, we could look there and we could say that, oh, no, no, somebody has altered this video, but the evolution has been very stark to this. You see, these hyper realistic videos, this has been used through OpenAI's Sora, and then these videos that I'm going to play now have been created using Google's VO2. You see, very realistic. Nobody can tell that these are not real. Or for that matter, this music. So yeah, it is really hard to tell that this is not a a Christmas market somewhere in North America or in Europe. Looks like very real to me, at least. Uh, Little exercise, what do you think is happening here? Is this a deep fake or a shallow fake? Maybe you can drop your answer in the chat. Are you able to see my screen? Good. A lot of people are thinking and sharing their. Uh, I I think yeah, you haven't been able to. Just a second, I'll share those slides again. Uh, just a second. Yeah. Yeah. Are you able to see it now? So I'll go back. So if you missed some of the slides, yeah, from here, uh, this is what we were discussing about deepfakes. I hope you are able to see now. So yeah, these are the this is what we were discussing. How deepfakes started with Ashmika Mandana's video and then got everywhere, and then we had technology like this. Are you able to see it now? Again, you are not able to see. Let me share again. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, share. Are you able to see now? Yeah, this is the evolution of Jenny. I'm going to play this again. How realistic? Yeah, this is what I was talking about, being hyper realistic now and people not being able to distinguish, whether. Yeah, so yeah, this is the exercise I wanted you to do. What do you think is happening here? Is it a deep fake or a shallow fake? Let me know in the comment section. Can you tell me in the comment section whether it's a deep fake or a shallow fake? Yeah, somebody mentioned deep fake, right? It's not like that Will Smith video, right? So there's a completely uh, somebody mentioned shallow fake. It's not a shallow fake because you could completely see a person being, a person's Tom Cruise's face being morphed onto someone's face, right? Unlike the Will Smith video that we saw, uh, some of the answers are still loading. Yeah, it's an example of a deep fake. Yeah, because you could see completely, that person turning into Tom Cruise. So that is the, the definition of deep fake. Yeah. So if you have any questions, we have a um, few minutes. We can take those. You can drop them in the chat, and I'll try to answer those. Or if you missed something from the slides, I can go back to that. any questions, feel free to share in the chat so that we can discuss some things you may not have understood or you may have on your at the top of your head. In the meanwhile, I'm sharing those slides again, which you may have missed. Yeah, from here, I think this was where we were. This was the Oxford Dictionary for definition for deepfakes, and this is what was happening here. And the Will Smith one, where we could see that something is off. It's a shallow fake. And then to this, yeah, I would like to hear from you now. What are the pros and cons of deep fakes? To be honest, right now, uh, right now, deepfakes have been used mostly, like I said, uh, pros. Uh, Again, deep to use it to be done. It was actually a deepfake picture. So for filmmaking, sometimes if an actor is not available and with their in certain my voice is my voice audible now? Is my voice audible? Yeah. So yeah, if you have any other questions, were you able to listen, hear what my answer to that question? I'll repeat myself. I was saying that deepfakes have mostly been used to malign people or for political vendetta and other things and to mislead people. But yeah, there could be a pros like if you can use them, say with somebody's consent during filmmaking or video production. There you can use them to Can you hear me, everyone?
Now we can.
Yeah, yeah. Please, yeah. Let me know if you have any more questions. You can drop them in the chat. Yeah.
क्लियर नजर आ रहा है कि दो बंदे बैठे हुए हैं।
How do we identify a deepfake video? That's a good one. There are tools now available which can help detect a deepfake. Uh, you can also, create with Invid and all. Then there are tools like deepfake scanner, which can tell you, if the video is deepfake or not. Every time, is it possible to recognize the deepfake? There are certain techniques that can be used, even without having tools. Some of the deepfakes will have irregularities in them. For example, there may be more digits in hands. The texture of the texture of the face will be very smooth. The features will be very aligned and similar. So those are some of the techniques that you can use uh, to identify a deepfake, other than the rather than just using tools. Uh, yeah, some inconsistencies in the body parts. Teeth will be very aligned. Sometimes there will be missing digits in hands. So some of these techniques can be used to identify a deep fake with the naked eye. Okay, I think yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for being in the attendance. I hope you had a productive session. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chiku. Thank you for that session. And I saw that you were doing a lot of hands-on training for all the faculty members. So I think that was something that's really good. And thank you so much. I
Thanks.
hope the faculty also enjoyed it and learned a lot from the session. And we hope to have you back
Thank you
in the
so much. Yeah.
forthcoming sessions. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. Have a great
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you. And we now welcome our next trainer, Anjana Kanduri. She's joining us from Netherlands. Thank you, Anjana, for joining us. And Anjana has been in the technology space for good 15 years, if I'm not wrong. And she was my colleague earlier at NASCOM. And now she's a consultant for an IT company. So her sessions have also been very well received by the participants earlier. So I'm very happy to hand it over to you, Anjana. Please take it forward.
Thank you so much, Kamna. So I'll take it from here. Hi, everyone. And I'm very excited today because I've been presenting. This is my third session, but I've got something new this time because recently, whatever I have been talking about has come to life. And now I have a live example. Of course, I will share it towards the end of this presentation. I am sharing my slide and hope all of you can see full screen. So this is the area that I'm going to be talking
I
about.
just, sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, Shakur, if you want to log off, you can log off. And second thing is that I'll just urge all the faculty members to interact and engage and make the best use of this time by asking and grabbing as much as you can from Anjana. So I've seen her questions, they're really good. So thank you.
Thank you, Kamna. So today we are going to be talking about generative AI enhancing supply chain management, and we will be taking two areas. One is retail and one is fashion. Uh, while both of them are looked at, supply chain management can differ from product to product, and it will vary. Within fashion, also, it will actually varies a lot. So I will just touch base upon what are the areas that are going to be influenced by generative AI. How is it going to be making difference? And what are the aspects that organizations can make use of generative AI? But before we get there, uh, let's understand the agenda in break formats. On, one is what is generative AI's potential in terms of these areas of retail and fashion. And so I am starting from the beginning, and let me minimize this screen of mine because it's just distractive. Okay, just taking it off. Okay. So number one, what is generative AI? I'm sure you've had number of sessions by now, and all of you know that what is generative AI? How is it different from AI? So firstly, I just want to refresh this area. See, AI was always there, at least for a good number of years, at least for 15 years, it has been put into practice. And from the time that we've heard of social media platforms like Facebook, or we've heard of Amazon climbing quickly up the ladder, suddenly hearing a lot of noise about Jeff Bezos and what are they doing differently. So AI was there in the area already, but what is generative AI being spoken so much about? It's almost like, why are we calling it Industry 4.0 and onwards and 5.0 now? And what is different is something we need to think deep down about. So before that, what are the foundation model? We'll just in brief talk about large language model on which generative AI is based, and what are the different types of large language model, because there are different models for photos, videos, and text. And some of them are for both purposes. Like if you look at Chat GPT today, it may not be generating very good quality of pictures, but it is capable of generating pictures. Whereas if you look at certain models like Mid Journey, or and I'm also going to be talking about one, they are very capable models for generating good quality of videos or pictures. Now, what does a Gen AI does? Its capabilities are to generate text, images, code, predictions, and complex decision making. Now, what is the difference between a traditional AI and generative AI? The traditional AI was where you are feeding information and it's able to give you predictive modeling. Now, if you, all of you might know, if you have done mathematics, you know regression, and you know a basic regression model, right? You feed data and then it gives you a estimated line, and where will your new, if you have a new at point, where will it fall in terms of uh, barring to the regression line. It's a simple way of doing it. And we've also, as a if you game theory, all of these things are much older. If you look at this, how we have learned it, and they are a part of what we have been doing. Of course, AI is what did AI bring the change there was the capability of processing a large amount of data, but yet it needed data to give you certain kind of predictive models or predictive results. Whereas, what is generative AI different? Generative AI now has a very unique feature called novel outputs. So, you can see that novel means new. So it's going to be generating new outputs. That means if I put all of these 93 participants here, their name, and randomly say, give me some new names, none of them will be repetition. What it will come out will be unique new names, which you cannot say that these are the people of the member of this group, you know. And what are the key technologies needed to support generative AI? And I'll talk about these also in a brief, which is transformer, neural network, reinforcement learning, which were already there. So going to next slide, I'm just talking about the Gen AI. Like I said, it's been always existing. And if somebody is telling us that AI has just come, no, it's not. It's come almost, if you look at the evolution of AI, it almost started at 1950s, and which is a form of human intelligence exhibited by machines. The only difference was that there were no capability of supporting devices, or let's say you know, the capability of processing that data. And that is why we talk today about processing being one of the key component in computing, right? The processing speed has increased, and all of us know that, especially all of us who are a part of this forum, that we remember a time when we used to have this large 2 GB disk, and now we have a much smaller 1 TB, you know, 3 TB maybe on our phones. Uh, so what is increase? What is increase is the processing power and storage, both, right? We don't need the same amount of space to store the data, and we don't need the processing is much faster. So, and that has changed somewhere here, right, in the era of 2010s, and that is what helped all the companies who are doing in generating this model for Gen AI or a large language model. Now, I'm just giving a this. I know that all of you may not be able to see the fine text here. All I'm just trying to showcase is this is the general generative AI model, wi- and this is a this is a reflection of it in the real life. This case study I will touch base upon in the later part of this presentation. Now, what happens is that you're feeding data, there is a model, and this we are talking about a large language model, right? A large language model, something which is built by, today we know of such models. We have Gemini, we have Claude, we have Chat GPT, and we have Google's Gemini is there, but Google is also building certain other models. Then we have Copilot by Microsoft. These are nothing but a large language model, and what they need is a prompt. What is a prompt? Prompt is nothing but a modified English language query, right? And if you've heard of certain query languages which needed specialized training like SQL or AQL, or these are nothing but specific query languages that were needed to get some output. Again, we are again talking about SQL, which can only work in a tabular format. If you know about SQL, it works almost like an Excel. If you know Excel, then there are columns and there are rows, right? If you want to search anything, the query need to be in a format where it is something is searchable either in a row or in a column. And if it is not a part of a row and a column, if it's not organized in a row and column, then both SQL and both Excel do not work. Whereas when it comes to Gen AI or natural language models, which is large language models, they are now called as natural language model. Why are they called natural language model? Because they are capable of understanding the nearest of how we interact as humans. So what we interact right now, we're talking in English. We can also talk in other language, right? In India, we have so many 29 languages, and that's where also they are trying to have certain Indian supported language models like Bhashini, and you would have heard the government supporting where you're able to translate into multiple languages, because in a language you need multiple things. You need to context, you need nuance, you need to understand the cultural meaning of that word. There are so many things to understand, right? So that is what stands here, and then you put a prompt and then you get an output. Now this output, of course, what do you do in a business scenario? If you want a model to understand a scenario, then you need to train that model in multiple other scenarios already. That is, if it's almost like a child who has never seen or let's say a mountain, or forget about mountain, a child who's never seen a ocean. And it happens, right? If you are living at a northern part of India, maybe you've never seen an ocean or never seen a sea. You're like flabbergasted the first time you look at such a large body of water. So basically here what you're doing is it's a natural learning process. You're making the model aware that this is also a scenario. So you will have to train the model. You will have to ensure the model is kind of virtually trained in a simulated environment where you're giving them all the, things that they can learn from, and then you put them in a business scenario. I'll come to this model later. Now, uh, I am just going through this overview. I know all of you have done multiple, you've done, I think this is the third day. So you already have done a couple of classes and everybody might have touched upon it. But again, at the cost of being repetitive, see, generative AI encompasses of model that create new data. And as we said, it's creating new novel data, right? And designs. Idea is how's it going to change, revolutionize supply chain management. Now, supply chain management is actually, if you look at the business the world is doing, if you calculate all the areas, the largest part, one of the largest contribution in world business is coming from supply chain management. Because everything from what you wear to what you eat to what you look in your house around you is a part of a supply chain management. There is a supplier, there is a buyer. And of course, definitely there's a chain. There is a chain of event, the oil. And we keep hearing this in multiple times in our news these days because India buys the large amount of oil from Russia. And how does it come? There is a supply chain management. What are the different modes and mechanisms they are bringing it? So, so it's one of the largest area. Now, as I said, there's a difference between generative AI, traditional AI, and that unique difference is something which is going to determine the future of technology and the future of business. Okay, so these are three areas that we are going to stick to today. Uh, because I would like to stick to time schedule. Last time I kind of did not finish on time or little just cut to cut. So I want to stick to three areas, which is number one, text generation, number two, image creation, and number three, simulation of results. Now, when it comes to AI, generative AI, these are areas where Gen AI is capable of doing unique proposition, which is it's capable of generating unique text, it's capable of generating unique image, and it's capable of simulation of results, which is, like I said, of course, it can simulate any environment provided you have trained it to certain extent. You will have to train it to certain various, you will have to imagine scenarios and train it, and that's when it will give you result in a new scenario because it's learned from some different scenario how to behave. Now, this is, of course, a traditional supply chain management. If you would have learned supply chain management 30 years back, I think this must be the image. A lot of things has changed in this image. Earlier, we used to say a very constant supplier to manufacturer, manufacturer to distribution, distribution to retailer, retail to customer. That's why we used to say, where is the money going? And a lot of people used to speak that, the produce or the product, the material which is 10 rupees here almost become 100 rupees by the time you have to come customer. But things have changed. Things have changed because of so much of improvisation in this particular area, which is distribution retailer. Now you have a distributor who's directly giving it to you. You order on, and not to the level of you order. You've heard, I mean, 5 years back, you used to, send you used to order online and groceries maybe used to arrive at your doorstep. Today, you can order it now and it will arrive within the time we are even finishing this session, right? You can order food, you can order anything you want. So basically, it's all disrupted. And that is why you are getting as a customer, you're having the best time. Whereas brands are probably, uh, trying to recover it from some other area of whatever cost of running that business is. But as customers, we are having the best time because of the technology evolution which has happened. Uh, okay. So what ha okay. So here we go. Now, if you look at this, let me just okay. Fashion say I'm talking, I hope you all can see my screen. I just made some changes so that I can see the screen. Now, if we are looking at fashion supply chain management, it works a little differently. Why would it work differently? I will talk about it. But at the same time, imagine that even within a retail, right? If we are talking about vegetable, we are talking about produce like fish or meat or poultry or milk, which has a very short life. its distribution or its supply chain will be different than if we talk about any other retail. So within retail, you will again have multiple time of supply chain management. For example, if you talk about fresh flowers, the supply chain will be different. But retail is, within retail, fashion is considered differently because of lot of other factors. One, it attributes a very high market value. With the increase of consumption every day, it has become more and more important. Also, fashion is very, firstly, fashion used to be dependent on weather earlier in the earlier days. Now it's dependent on multiple other things like trends, like what is going on in the market, how are people changing opinion, what is becoming suddenly famous. So brands have to respond accordingly. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just running this video and I want to show you, I will not show you the complete video. I'm just going to showcase to you how fashion would differ. I'm just running this video. Just tell me if you guys are able to hear the sound. No, okay. So I'm going to reshare my screen with sound share and maybe open it on YouTube. Okay.
Here he is now. Hi, I'm just trying to make sense of all this data.
Now, is it audible?
From data to ta-da, SaaS via.
Bang.
Drawing inspiration from the glitz of the runway, you might expect headquarters in Madrid, one of Europe's glamorous capitals, but nope, it's right here in this rural corner of northern Spain. And in an industry married to glossy full-page campaigns and costly commercials, the company's ad spend is basically non-existent. So what's making this work so well for Zara? And as the global fashion industry confronts new competition and existential problems, can it last?
The retail fashion landscape is undergoing a moment of reckoning.
Five, six, seven, eight, and switch.
Zara is widely considered the creator of fast fashion.
That was a label given to them by the New York Times when they opened a Zara store in New York.
Fast fashion.
So you heard the terminology called fast fashion, right? And which was, as they say, introduced by Zara. Now, and if you look at Google search, they were putting Shein, and you might have come across this brand. It's a Chinese brand, which has actually also kind of is a big competition to Zara. And not only these large brands, if you look at today's fashion world, the new terminology is fast fashion, and which is a very complex thing if you look at from supply chain management perspective. The second, I'm going to keep stopping this video because my purpose is not to show you video, but the key pointers from retail in the fashion industry
Is the ability for retailers to respond to changing consumer trends and quickly churn out goods with a very short lead time.
Trendy threads which usually cost little enough that it doesn't matter if you only wear it for a couple of lunches or a single evening alone squatting on a stove.
Some people would say that H&M did the same thing, but given the size and the presence globally of Zara, there's a lot of people who would argue that they are definitely the one who gets the crown.
It's for those aspirational luxury shoppers who can't afford to buy top-tier brands or even mid-tier brands. They're for the shoppers who want to look stylish, look chic, but can't consistently afford those higher price labels.
Zara is one of several brands owned by Inditex, the publicly traded parent company. The biggest difference between Zara and its rivals, though, is its approach to logistics.
Most sportswear companies and apparel companies in the world have become, over the years, extremely reliant on factories in Asia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Vietnam, and China, among others. Zara has also started producing over the years in those countries, but more than half of their production comes from what they call proximity.
That'd be markets closest to its headquarters, so Spain, its home market, and here, and here, and here.
And what that allows for is much more rapid distribution into stores. So we think about 80% of stores within Inditex can have a shipment every 4 to 5 days.
The second part of their uniqueness in logistics is that everything they produce gets shipped back to distribution plants in Spain.
Like this one near Madrid, every Zara item you've ever worn once came here.
Those products get repackaged and then they get sent out to stores across the globe based on the needs from those stores.
This adaptability helps the brand navigate.
So the reason I shared this video is there are 3 areas, if you look at this video, that highlights on, which is number 1 being supply chain management. Number 2, why the supply chain management becomes very important in fast fashion. Number 3 is sustainability in fashion industry. Now, the moment you talk about fast fashion, what will happen is you'll have more of consumption. Now, what do you do with the older, old things which are going out of market? It literally goes to the landfill. And because of this, there are, sooner or later governments and different agencies are realizing that it's a lot of waste. And hence, there is a lot of percentage of in terms of sustainability, both on organization and on individuals as well, on actually kind of putting these things off. If you look at, I'm living in the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands, for example, I cannot put my waste cloth, or I cannot dump whatever I'm wearing if I don't want to wear tomorrow in my regular dustbin. There are different bins made exclusively for fabrics, for clothes. And reason is they would first try to recycle it, maybe give it to people who are in need, or maybe send it directly to the companies who are going to be recycling this waste. It makes their job easier as a government. As citizen, it becomes your responsibility that you're not dumping all waste together. There is segregation of waste. More importantly, there is also a taxable thing on organization, and hence majority of the organization have given a very, very important part on sustainability, and they will have to, because there are penalties now. They're wasting a lot of fabric, or if you look at, if fabric go back to a lot of cotton, or if it is polyester, then it is also polluting the environment. So there are a lot of other things that they have to be considerate of. Now, so I just wanted to show you this important areas and how fashion have to be looked at from a different lens altogether. So let's come at generative AI in supply chain management. Now, as we all know, I just spoke about that. It addresses very important areas within both of these areas, like retail and fashion. One is demand volatility. That is, uh, with the newer emerging with the Gen AI, you can think about newer trends and maybe think about what is the demand part of it, and then make a decision. We will explore these portions now on what are its applicable model. Number 1 is a demand forecasting. Now, how does generative AI enhances accuracy in predicting customer demand, optimizing inventory level effectively? If you look at older AI models, right, they were able to predict what is going to be sold in the market. They were doing predictive modeling, and they were able to give you what is the, what is the amount you should have maybe in your store, what is the amount you should produce in factory, or probably, and this is with the help of large sum of data. But now we are not talking about that. We're talking about data which is live. We are able to process as things are happening in real time basis. The second area is automated generation of promotional plan. Why is this important? This area going to make a difference is because the AI tools are capable of now generating unique content, and hence unique tailored marketing strategies, adapting to real-time market trends and consumer preferences. The third area, which is supplier risk analysis, is a part of demand forecasting if you look at it, but supplier risk analysis is very new. If you look at olden times, there were times when certain areas ran out of onion in India. You would have heard it a lot in news, that onion price has gone 100 rupees and it has become unaffordable. And why was it? Because there was suddenly, there was a rain flood in the area which was growing onion, and there was the supply was reduced. And but now you can do an supply risk analysis and ensure that you're able to meet the local demand with the help of a constant analysis. Now, generative AI in retail SCM. How, like I said, these are important areas, but how does demand forecasting in retail makes a lot of difference? And how do you predict market trend analysis, right? Okay. I'm going back on enhanced logistic planning. So all of this, I think I will cover in one case scenario, which I'm going to be running. But before that, the area here is that you're now capable of synthesis of data, scenario generation, and enabling dynamic analysis. What does dynamic analysis means? Dynamic analysis means that as you are viewing changes in the market, the same change is communicated to your supply chain in the back, and then there are changes done. For example, if I as a customer, I, for example, if you order something online today on Amazon or Flipkart, the moment you do not, or you cancel your order, you're not charge any penalty. Why are you not charge any penalty? If you look at erstwhile, sometime there were very good shopkeepers who would even take your thing back and give you something instead, right? And you had an option of return. But now you are not even returning, but you're not even charged on returning, which means that the owner, the shopkeeper, or the channel already has planned to sell what you have ordered somewhere else, and that is why they do not want to charge you any penalty. They do not want to ask you to pay even for returning. So those are the capabilities, because in real time you can predict that if you are not the one who's taking, maybe within 1 kilometer somebody else is taking. They don't even have to reroute that item to back to their warehouse, or even the hub and spoke that they generally do in supply chain. Maybe they can within their go to the nearest office and change the address and deliver it elsewhere. So that's possible. Now, and what about enhanced logistic planning? If you look at enhanced logistic planning, uh, if something is being supplied, for example, from Delhi to, let's say, Delhi to Chandigarh, right? And Delhi to Chandigarh, if you see, that whole road is highly congested. Imagine if there is an accident in one of those road, and if there is an accident, definitely there is a standstill, and the already congested road would standstill, and the number of hours from delivery time would significantly go up by 2-3 hours before there is a clearance. Or now what happens with the modern area is that if there is an accident, the truck driver is capable of, he's been given multiple routes of where he can go nearest, what can he do, and same is communicated to the environment where he's going and delivering. That is nothing but logistic planning. In a real-time basis, if you see Google Maps, they've been integrated with supply chain management. And if it is not Google Maps, of course, there are multiple mapping solutions. In India, they're using a lot of Map My India, which has done very well job. So which is the background of GPS, which are enhanced in the truck driver or supply chain management, which are actually giving you information, integrated smart solutions. So basically there are cameras, there are feed. It's not that the truck driver want to go some other way. It's actual scenario based analysis of, okay, this is the shortest route, but now if this route is going to be stuck for 2 hours, you rather save 1 hour by going to the alternate route. And that is all put in the engine. Now, this is an area which a supplier is analysis, like I spoke about the onion case. I'm going to show you a video which will make you look, which actually I had earlier showed how large language model are working, what are the input and what is the data output. And we will look at this actual case which is happening. Okay. Let me go back to, okay. So I'm going to share this again. I will be dependent on you guys to tell me if you're able to hear the sound.
Dahlia
Can
is
you
a
hear the sound? I'm just stopping it. Is it audible? Yeah. Okay. Is it audible? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm just playing this video.
supply chain planner at Kraft Heinz Company. One of their biggest challenges is keeping up with demand in the face of unexpected supply chain disruptions. Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, which is available to Dynamics 365 supply chain management customers, helps them stay close to their suppliers to ensure they are never out of stock. They can respond quickly in critical situations by identifying costly problems early and swiftly collaborating with partners to maintain healthy inventory levels. Dahlia first uses the AI-driven news module to keep a finger on the pulse of events that impact critical logistics, such as weather, workforce, or geopolitical disruptions. Today, she's presented with an article about a flood in Michigan. She sees this article has been tagged as an immediate risk, and her suppliers, Northwind Traders, Van Arsdale, and Best For You Organics Company, are affected. Dahlia selects Northwind Traders and clicks Contact Partner. She wants to confirm the impact on order dates and quantity, given the flooding in Michigan. She reviews an AI-generated email powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot that already contains all the relevant information referencing the flooding and specific orders in question. She opens the draft directly in her email, sees that the right contact, Mauricio, has automatically been filled in, and sends it off. With Copilot, Dahlia is able to quickly handle this task in just a few clicks, facilitating a much faster mitigation process. Mauricio from Northwind Traders responds, "The order will be delivered from an alternative Northwind Traders location with a new ETA." With Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, Dahlia was able to act swiftly, detecting problems that could have major impact to her business and taking immediate action to mitigate the disruptions without ever leaving her workflow.
Okay, so now the reason I showed you
Dahlia is a
this video is I'm just going back to my earlier slide. Just give me a moment. Stop there. I'm going to reshare. Okay, I'm just going to reshare my slide. And I will. The reason why I showed you this is earlier, if you remember, I was showing you Microsoft Copilot, one of the which the case study which I showed you. I'm just going back to it to show you what happened exactly. So this is what I had showed you, right? So here the GenAI model is Copilot, which comes with Dynamics 365. The data in this case is that you if you know Heinz tomato ketchup, right? They're talking about the case study of Heinz because they've implemented the solution. But however, we are talking about generative AI model. We're talking about a retail supply chain management solution. We're also talking about a real-time solution. So what has happened is they have given some data, which is, for hence, what other ingredients you need for tomato sauce, for example. You need tomatoes, and I don't know what else do you need, but yeah, tomatoes are, of course, the main ingredient. So, and who are the suppliers, and what is the route, and what are the things? They put all of it, and maybe plastic bottles also, whatever. And then the co-pilot is the model. And then what happens? What is the prompt here? In this case, they have made a supply chain solution. What have they done? They have built a scenario wherein you are doing a supplier risk analysis. So you have built-in scenarios where how should the model react when there is a political crisis, when there is a natural crisis, or if there is any transportation crisis, for example, which is going to impact your business. In this case, the tomato comes from certain farm area, and the moment they saw there is a flood or something, the first thing the model detects is, those areas are affected where your tomatoes come from. So if the tomato harvest is going to be affected in the future, will it affect your business? Yes, it will affect your business. So it immediately highlights that as a threat or immediate as a risk to the business. And Dalia here is a lady, and who is kind of managing this whole thing. And there is an automatic draft also that is built in, that will you be able to supply us tomatoes, and that's what she is able to share. In this case, she doesn't have to monitor the market, she doesn't have to constantly go and talk to the supply. The model is kind of doing a lot of heavy lifting for her. I will come to a stage where we can go further in this, and that is the interesting area after generative AI. But I just wanted to walk you through this model, and that is the story of Microsoft, the video that I showed you. Now, okay, let's go to what are the generative AI in fashion supply chain management. Now, in fashion, there are, like I said, important things that they spoke about throughout the Zara video were three very important things. One was fast fashion. Number two is, the supply chain behind it, the fast fashion, because of, so there are two portions if you look at very minutely. How do you build fast fashion, right? If you build fast fashion, what are the things you need? You need quicker ideas, you need quicker prototypes, you need quicker go to market. And then, and these should be different also. It's almost like we used to say that we recognize an era by a certain type of jeans, or we say, oh, this used to be in 70s, this used to be 80s. It was so predictable. Now people don't want to wear what other person is wearing, so it's become so unique. Fashion, everybody has their sense of fashion is something which has become kind of fad or whatever you may call it, but that's impacting business. And can people produce ideas so soon? Can real people or people, and if you look at even the fashion industry, the major part of fashion industry is, one is there are fashion designers who make a lot of money, but these are also people who come with very limited set of designs. And then further, these same designs are kind of copied into retail markets or bigger fashion outlets like Zara or H&M. And then, these are further copied by a little lower labels. And this is what has been happening. Now, what will change about this whole scenario of business building in fashion is you no more need a fashion designer. You don't need a fashion designer because you have engines, you have platforms that are capable of designing a different design, unique design, and you don't have to pay anybody to design those. Secondly, important part of another thing which happens in fashion is, if you have to sample, if you have you need a virtual, you need a sampling. So basically, whatever you make as a design, you need something. You want to see one piece. You want to see how is it, whether it is looking even good, or your ideas when translated into a fabric, are they even looking good? A lot of wastage occur at this stage because maybe somebody made 50 samples, but then out of them only two turn out to be. So this is a level where a lot of designers are involved. There is a lot of fabric selection. There is a lot of, where to make that design. And the more fashionable it is, or the bigger it is, the more expensive it becomes. So here, You can even do virtual sampling. You don't need actual sampling of that and then prototyping. You can even prototype it to the level that with 3D printers, you can even print it, whatever you're imagining, right? And how about the conceptual trying? If you look at virtual models, there are sites who provide you virtual models. You can create your own virtual models. And what will this help you in? This will help you in a building a business even before you have it. For example, if I want to open a business today, and I want to open a business of, let's say, t-shirts, right? I don't have to actually make t-shirts. I don't have to print t-shirts. I don't have to stitch them. I don't have to own anybody. I don't have to have anyone wear them. I can do all of this on a virtual system. I can have them listed on any of the online retail store like Amazon or Flipkart or Nika or wherever I want to. And then the moment somebody orders, I can then do maybe a relationship with a post production and then have it produced. So all of this can happen even without actually having a factory, actually having a business. This the Of course, the most important part, which I said, design, ideation, and trend prediction. So the most expensive part of fashion is, as I said, it's the brands. If you look at the Gucci's or the Pradas or Dolce Gabbana, why are they famous? They're famous because of the designs. They're famous because of the amount of brand building they've done over the year of time. And it is said that whatever they're doing are very different. But today there's an existential crisis if you look at such big brands, because anybody can ideate, anybody can create a new fashionable product. And in fact, anybody can even create it predicting the market trend. So with the fast fashion, you need fast go to market, you need fast prototyping, you need fast virtual sampling, and all of this can happen. Algorithm can kind of see what is the most trending design and actually print a similar design, and you can even go to market before such of large fashion designers go. And that is why fashion needs highly agile supply chain and responsiveness. So I was talking to one of the logistic companies who work in fashion, niche fashion areas, and they have SLAs as short as resolution time as short as 4 hours. If you think about 4 hours, what is 4 hours? Imagine if somebody wants me to resolve that they have a fashion produce which is coming from United States to Netherlands, and they want me to, and the product has not come, and they want me to resolve it in 4 hours. Can I resolve it? No, but they have such high resolution time. So that is why this is going to be a turning point for fashion. That is why you will have more and more players coming in this area. Like we spoke about, what are the areas where Gen AI is going to help and how is it going to be helping? One is, of course, it is going to be building on what are the style, pattern, and going to leverage that data to build something new. It's not going to leverage that data to tell you what to sell in the market. It's going to leverage that data and also produce something which will be sold in the market. So that's the difference between generative AI and AI, right? And as I said, virtual sampling and even prototyping. So now you can firstly, you can generate something unique using, you can create virtual samples of things. You can even print them 3D printing, and you can have a design and accuracy. You can see how does it appear on a model on a real time basis. The agility, which is go to market, that is to be able to quickly produce, quickly go to supply to the market, is again a big part of it. With more and more platforms, suppliers, and market, it's becoming more and more competitive. And yes, this is very, very important part of fashion. The more it has become fast fashion, the more important sustainable optimization has become. Now, with newer and newer government rules, regulation, on sustainability tax, on understanding on how to recycle material, It's becoming minimizing the waste. So people don't, governments or even agencies don't want you to go and dump that waste and go to landfill, because that is the same amount which will come again in the from the market. So they would like you to design and produce material that can be recycled, recycle majority of the content of what you produce, or else design solutions that are, nature friendly or probably sustainable. Is something coming as a challenging, looking at the consumer mindset we have in the market now. Okay, so I use this site called Runway, and I had to convert it into video. It was already a GIF, but it wasn't playing on my, PPT. So I converted it into a video. But then this is the, this is something I wanted to design. So this is a t-shirt that I designed. I designed a t-shirt, and can you see, if you go to Flipkart today, you see a lot of t-shirt sampling like this from, some unknown brands. If they don't really have, you'll not see the face of the person. You'll just see how is it sampled. So if you look at this, Runway is the site, you can try it. Actually, they give you a limited number of points. So I made my own t-shirt design. I fed the design. I created it. Not only did I create it, somebody's even wearing it. So if I want, I can right now put it on Flipkart and say I'm selling it, and I have made it, and if I get, like, let's say 50, the minimum order is 50. I can even reproduce it. Look, think about it. I can open a business using this idea. So this is the t-shirt design, and I think you all should try. It's runway.com. You can try it. So this is a unique video and image generating. In fact, it's the name Runway comes from, actual fashion runway. So it's majorly for content creators, or for designers. The site is made for them. So you can try that. Uh, okay, let's go forward now. Now we've been all talking, everything which we have been talking is so far good. And I mean, every technology we have seen till today, there is nothing which comes without any side effects. And that is why it is important to understand what are the aspects that are going to be, going to be something challenging for when you look at supply chain management. The most important part is technical challenges, the quality of data. Now, whenever, as I said, data is the primary input, right? You put a data, and now everything you fed. So if hence feed one of the suppliers, the supply chain is not correctly fed, everything else will be built off, right? Nothing will be correct. So primary becomes the data which you fed to the engine. Large language model, as you know, are capable of learning, but then at the same time, the data, and so far, by the way, they were not even testing till recently, and now I think everybody has it. Perplexity started it, where they started quoting the source. What happened earlier, if you remember chat gpt, a lot of people used to complain that, it's not giving right information, it's not accurate, it's only updated to 2021 or something. But with the latest trend, they are all going to real time basis, checking their data and feeding you with the output. But at the same time, you don't know they're going to real time basis to online resources. What is that online resources itself is wrong. They would eventually feed you right. What is the authenticity of data? Whether the data is right or not. The second part is operational risk. uh, can we completely rely on AI or chat gpt, or do we need to have a human intervention? If you look at the modern, a lot of organizations have shifted their complete hiring to, online, generate basis AI engine, which is you apply as a person, it's ATS, and then, you also have an interview which is AI enabled, and there's an AI agent which is testing you, and then they evaluate it. There is no human intervention to almost 2 3 stages of the interview. And similar is the case with many other areas. If you look at, earlier we used to have actual agents, if you look at Airtel or any telephone, but now it goes to automated voice service. And automated voice service, you have multiple options, and only the last option is somebody. And a lot of time doesn't understand what you're asking for. You only have limited options. So same is the case with, Gen AI. You will have always an operational risk of what is the balance you need to have of a person or this. Regulatory consideration are going to remain so. While Gen AI has become in public usage, there are no strict rules or regulations that are established as world. There are no line. While we are talking about deep fakes just before me, the session, what is the line? Where do you draw the line? Where are you going to say this is not allowed? And it's a very difficult area to judge. The same deep fake can be used for a movie, but what if the same deep fake is put on for generating views on YouTube? Is it right? Because it's just generating views. It's not harming anybody. So that regulatory consideration is still to be not clear. What is the responsibility of a user? What is the responsibility of a builder? Because when somebody builds, they do not think of all scenarios. It's almost like atom bomb, right? When you build it, you don't think of all scenarios, how it will be used. uh, and future trends. So this is the area where I want to spend some time on, and that is why today I just went a little faster, because future trends is very important. So far, we have heard people talking about AI taking jobs. It's not happened, but it is something which can happen. So yeah, so I wanted to cover these areas, these three areas. So one is, I think Future Skills Prime, I am sure Kamna might have already walked you through. So firstly, we'll do an exercise on
No, I have not.
Gemini.
I have not. You can give a little brief.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'm going to walk you through Future Skills Prime, this particular module, which all of you have to complete. So that's why I have a link. Tell me if you're still able to see, because I moved out of that screen, or maybe I'll open and reshare it.
Yeah, you can reshare it, and everyone has got. We cannot see the screen right now. Basically, everyone has got a welcome email from Future Skills Prime. Abhi, that's the stage. We have not discussed it because I wanted a couple of sessions to be over. So if you can take it from there and show them the module, that will be great, Anjana.
Okay, sure. Let me do that. Okay, so I'm resharing my screen. I have opened Future Skills Prime for so here we go. Okay, which one? Which one? I have so many screens open.
This is correct.
This is correct. I logged into one of them. I'm seeing which one is have I logged in. Okay. I think both of them are same. Okay. 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 Okay, it's me. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my bad. So, as you all can see, this is me, and I don't have a. So, I'll go to my dashboard, because that's where I have this course which I have done. I have done a little bit of generative AI fluency, and this is what all of you are doing. And we spoke the other day to some of the people, and I had opened this mock assessment, and that's why it's showing me mock assessment. So you can actually search, put it in search key directly if you want to go to the assessment. But I suggest you can also take a mock assessment before you go to the assessment. This is the AI fluency, which all of you have to complete the journey. Once you have completed the journey, then you can go and do the mock assessment, which is actually good for you to get environment friendly, because it's going to be AI proctored, and you'll have a couple of questions. It will have your video on, and it will notice your movements, that hopefully you're not copying or something. And then you can go to Gen AI assessment. You can type it here and it will come. I think I did not even type the spelling correctly, but then yeah. Okay, which I think, yeah, we're talking about generative AI fluency, right? So I'll just write that same thing. So if you even type, it works almost like Google search key. And if you see here, then it got you AI fluency assessment, which is 600 rupees. I think all of you are prepaid and you've got a coupon and you have to enter that coupon and it'll become free.
Yes, it is going to happen on Friday. We'll be generating the
Yeah.
coupon codes for them. Yeah.
Yeah, so on Friday you will get your coupon. Before that, you should target to finish this whole course of generative AI fluency and take your mock assessment. So that you're familiar what is happening, and also if you have sessions, you have certain questions for those sessions which are pointed, and then you can take this on Friday after that. So it's such a yourself prepaid, and I hope all of you have already started this because I think Kamna is covering 42 hours, and this is what I think 23 hours content. So yeah,
Less, it's about 15-16 hours.
yeah.
Less,
So
yeah.
she's doing double of what is actually covered there. So yeah. So that's about the future skills prime part of it. Now we'll go to an hands-on exercise. I am going to be resharing my screen. Let me share my PPT. Okay. Okay, we are here on future trends, and I was okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, so we've covered, and I was here, which is the Gemini portion of it. So I'm just sharing the link on chat. All of you can go to Gemini. I am going to also share uh, the file, which I'm going to be sharing, and it's a very small file. You can try it with a larger file. And I'm also going to Gemini from here, by the way. I'm opening in because it's by default. I don't know why it's taking Edge. I don't want to be using Edge. I'm going on Chrome, and I will reshare my screen. In the meantime, all of you can open Gemini and also open this book, which I have, Excel, which I have shared. Okay, so if you look at the Excel, right, it's talking about certain components and where are they coming from. So the case here is that I will also share the case, and then I will also share the window of Gemini, which I have opened. So resharing my screen again. Okay, so this is the case that we are going to be doing, which is a smartphone company sources key component batteries, chips, and screens from 3 countries. And if you see, Excel has all the details. Recent geopolitical tension threatens supply continuity. This is the table. Now you have to use Gemini, and we are going to be answering certain questions. Okay. So now I'm going to be doing it. I am resharing my Gemini screen, and I'll repeat the question when we go to Gemini. Okay. So if you go to Gemini here, if you go to tools and start canvas, the first thing is I'm going to upload this file, which I have shared with all of you. Okay. which is component, right? Okay, let's do one question first. Which components have low inventory and come from only one country? Okay. Now you can also put your own question, but I'm just putting this question. I've already written it, so it will be easier for all of you to follow through and see the result. Now I'm just asking Gemini for this question, and I want it to answer. Okay, so can you see how detailed the answer is? Now you have to actually appreciate it at multiple level. Think about it. And the reason I could appreciate it is because if you remember, even for a small search in Excel, if you want to do a key search, right, between different columns, you need VLOOKUP. If you want to search one item in Excel, it's now think about a solution where you have a platform which is not only looking at your Excel, but also doing a data analysis of it, also giving you a solution only based on an input that you have given. So you can look at it as a query, which is prompt. And what is the prompt asking? You have a component CSV and you're asking, tell me which are the areas that are, which component have low inventory and they come from only one country. Answer is battery, supplier country, South Korea, inventory level low, sole supplier. So it's actually showing you a risk level that they are the only supplier. So if something happens in South Korea, then you have a very high dependency on that. Same is the case with speaker. And it should pointer, these components represent the highest risk areas due to limited stock and reliance on a single source country. This is from the perspective of supply chain management, right? Now, we can try one more question before we move forward, which is, okay. So, okay. Highlights the part that are at risk due to supplier concentration. I'm just writing here. Okay. I'm just putting it on chat also if you want to try it yourself. You can also try different questions. You don't have to stick to these questions. Okay. Now, the following components are at highest risk because they rely on single source supply, making them extremely vulnerable, right? And what is it saying? What is the problem with sole supply? It's also telling you and what is it saying? Supply dependency level. I can even ask it something real time. Can you suggest areas where I can procure these components from? Now, this is something I'm just putting it. Now, it will also do a real-time search. It is taking the data of today's world, today, and, and it will give me ideas on which are the areas that I can work on. Okay. Supply diversification recommendation. It has given me detailing. If you look at this. Okay. Okay, so I'm just opening the supply diversification it has given me. Okay, what are the options? It's giving you Japan, USA, Europe, new gigafactories, South Asia, and this is real time, by the way. So the one was information that I gave it from my data, and one is the information it's giving me back on the basis of the questions I've asked. Now, this is a capability of a free engine. I'm not a paid person here. It's not an enterprise version. So you, me, anybody can use it and actually make use of whatever information it is. The only area where people are worried about using enterprise data on these engines is that, it can be misused, or if the data authenticity, or if somebody else can steal the data. That's the only part they're concerned about. But if you look at if you really want to do analysis, then it's a very perfect tool, and it's giving you not only the areas that you're asking, but also thinking through it. when it comes to supply chain management. So this is the exercise that I wanted to do. I also wanted to share another platform with you, which again I have given a link. Let me try and log in first. If it works, I'll show it to you guys. Okay, so going back to my slide presentation, I'm just resharing my screen. And now we'll talk about the future trends. This is also an area where I wanted to park and take time before we go. So, the future trends is an important aspect for all of us to think about because this is, like I said, we have been talking about how AI is going to be taking away jobs of people, but that's not happened so far. It's not going to take away jobs right away, but there are areas where it's making a very significant build up, uh, which is called agentic AI, and you will hear about it. Agentic AI is nothing but an agent. What's an agent? If you've heard of a call center agent or a customer service agent, what are they? They are actually people, right? In the case of Dahlia or Copilot, which we were seeing an actual person who was sending the email, an actual person who was monitoring what is happening. When it comes to agentic AI, how it's going to make a difference is that you can create multiple agents, and agents are nothing but your actual, almost a person. So you can mimic one person into maybe 10 agents who do different functions. Agent, which is a computer agent, is capable of doing all computer functions. It cannot do, of course, physical functions like a person, but it's capable of doing all agentic function, and to the stage that you can actually deploy agents to do a lot of automated tasks. So now, how does it differ? For example, in the co-pilot case where I showed you, you saw that we saw a newspaper article that there is a flood in some place, and as the flood article comes in front of Dahlia, it generates a risk that there's a supplier risk, and then there's almost a template of draft which comes, and she sends it. Now, replace Dahlia with an agent now, and also replace the activity with an agent. So, what happens? The agent sees there is a risk. The agent is saying that there is a flood. The agent raises an automated update. The agent drafts an email. Agent also sends an email. And agent also places an order on an alternate vendor in case of risk. That is agent. That is going to be something which is going to be making a lot of difference in the upcoming days. And an important part of it is I wanted to showcase this, which is in the past two I've had past two sessions, I did not speak about it because this is a recent case and you all might have heard about it, where Amazon has sued Perplexity for its saying that its agents are crawling Amazon space for price discovery. Have all of you heard about it? This is a recent, it was in news, it was a lot of noise around it. And what does it mean? What does it imply for us as people who are a part of this technology world? What it means is that, do you understand the context? What has happened here? The context is that Amazon is saying that Perplexity, which is, if you know, Perplexity is also an, built on large language model, uh, or silicon-based company, but of an Indian. He their agent, if you look at go to Perplexity today, you can actually see, if you want to discover price, let's say where is it best priced, you can actually put this query and it will give you various marketplaces. Amazon said that Perplexity is sending its agent to Amazon's website for price discovery and for purchase. So, like I said, an agent is a replacement of a person. So, you can even make an agent which is capable of going to a marketplace, ordering on your behalf, and also placing an order, because let's say you want to have, you already have a credit card, you actually give an agent a right to go place order on your behalf. The agent does it, and you don't even have to do anything. So that is what Perplexity is doing. They are not actual people, they are bots. And why is Amazon worried about it? Think about it. How does it impact Amazon's business? So can you guys think about it? Any ideas? How does it impact Amazon's business? Why is Amazon worried? Amazon also have a large language model. Amazon is also tomorrow going to be designing agents. But why are they questioning Perplexity today? Think. Any answers? I hope no, all of you are not asleep because it's going to be 9:30. But yeah. Uh, um, Dr. Devesh Kumar is saying it might place orders with competitors. That's a repercussion. That could happen if you discover that something is not priced well on Amazon. That's something where you lose one order. Think about bigger things like, why does Amazon care about a Amazon is such a huge, large player, a large tech company existing for so many years now. Perplexity just came into existence few years back. What is this going to? This is technology is also a large equalizer if you look at it. Perplexity, by building these agents, is kind of competing with a large technology company on no, again, it's not servers. Think of what is the large. If you look at Amazon, what are the revenue sources? You know that you might have heard a lot of time that Amazon is not making money when it comes to Amazon Marketplace, right? It's not. It's literally loss making. Then how is it making the money? It's making money by a lot of things, by selling advertisement, by placing sending on the marketplace, placing you top on the marketplace. For that also it charges. For your shop advertisement within Amazon, it charges. For the number of items discovered on Amazon, there is a back Google AdWords and all of those things which comes on the search window. For that Amazon charges. How do you appear and how do you come as a best price? Now suddenly nobody's even going to Amazon, suddenly nobody's even paying for that advertisement, because you go to Perplexity and you search for an item and you see, oh, it's cheapest at Flipkart. You don't care about any advertisement. The whole advertisement marketplace for Google, for Amazon, for all the people, especially for Google because of Google AdWords, right? They earn a lot of revenue in Google AdWords. Also for Amazon, because they charge a lot of these shopkeepers or who are on marketplace, and for every click there is an extra money they get from. So it's going to be a large revenue threat. And Perplexity is saying that it's an innovation and it's not fraud. Amazon has actually sent legal notice to Perplexity. It's still a discussion point. But what is important for us to think is this is the future of Gen AI. This is where we are moving towards. One need to be absolutely careful, especially in areas like cybersecurity, in areas of banking fraud, because an agent is capable of acting on behalf of you. An agent is capable of doing almost everything you can do without you being there. So those are also important areas for discussion, and that is why it's an thing that one should think about in terms of this is the line between and like I said, regulatory things for these technologies are still to be figured out, and that is why both of them have are well playing in their terms, and you cannot say one is right and one is wrong so far. It's still under discussion, and there are high chances that perplexity will not lose this. But let's see. With newer, if you look at today, all of these technology companies are coming with their own agentic platforms. I've been of late attending a lot of these sessions to understand how are agents going to be modified and how are they being built on. But a lot of these platforms are coming with designing your own agent. So there's something called vibe coding, which is nothing but vibe coding is not so technologically difficult like coding. It will be in between where you are capable of editing agents, designing agents, and there will be certain marketplaces like Gen AI, you have large language model, like you have Chat GPT, which is easy interface, right? Where you're capable of creating agents. It will be to be seen whether how much can you do with these agents for in these spaces, what are the capabilities is to be seen, but then that's the space where majority of the organization have started talking and have started working. So that's the future that we're looking at, and that is why I think it is important for us to follow this space. It's going to be a disruption in a lot of other areas concerning, like we're just talking about supply chain management. It will not only disrupt supply chain management, it will change many other areas. So, yeah, these are the Q&As that were a part of the Future Skills Prime pathway. I thought I'll just put them here so that you could think through it. What are the strategic approaches to achieving sustainability in the supply chain? What do you think? Is anybody aware what does these, if you have any queries, you can ask me because we have today, I have reasonably finished on time. So we do have another 10-12 minutes. So you can ask me questions of if you have any issues or any queries, any questions regarding these concepts. Uh, if I have to talk about concepts of sustainability, then we talk about circular economy concepts because, like I said, sustainability is the biggest issue as we keep more and more consumer mindset. And this doesn't apply only to retail fashion. It applies to mostly everything we consume today. Everything we consume from, furniture to anything, home utilities, everything has become so very low end of life, which means it's going to the landfill, which makes it important for us to look at an important aspect of how are we going to bring it back to life with minimal amount of it being threat to the nature. So that's an important part to be considered, and more and more regulations. Yeah, correct. Reduce, reuse. The cycle is also there, but they haven't mentioned it. So the answer will be lying in something which is more circular. Uh, Generative AI improves demand forecasting accuracy by creating. Now, we spoke about generative AI models. Like I said, AI models used to be predictive models, and anything can be predictive. You can even make an Excel predictive model if you feed data, and then it can, of course, predict where will be the next data falling into, right? So you need data which is capable of also making certain decision and imagine scenarios. So you need data which is more fluid. You need models which are more fluid. Like we spoke about a case where the model is capable of connecting the dots. So if there is a storm in certain part of the country, the model can think on behalf of you what will happen if there is a storm in this area. what are the things will happen? It will impact supply of tomatoes. What will happen if supply of tomatoes is impacted? It will first impact tomato crops. If tomato crops are impacted, it will impact the harvest. If it impacts the harvest, it will impact the supply, and it will then impact you. So that capability should be built in the model, and that will only happen if a model has more of probabilistic, or model has considered all the probabilities. The model is able to make a decision, right? Where has Gen AI impacted supply chain management notably? I mean, I hope this is like something we have just covered. So, any queries? Any queries? I just want to cover references. I've used multiple sources to build this PPT. I haven't created all of this on my own. And of course, you can also use generative AI to create your own. It will be able to, it's capable of creating. But at the same time, you need to back up the data with what is happening in real time. And there's a lot of movement which is happening in real time in this area. And so I don't see any questions. I hope I have been able to, run through this presentation with all of you understanding every concept. So, any questions? Otherwise, I don't want to hold everyone's for longer because
You still there 5 minutes until sir is saying he doesn't have any questions. But I think others can still ask their questions because this is a
yeah.
good chance to see you all will be going back to your students and hopefully these learnings will come in handy. So if there's any doubt or any query that you have, this is a good chance to just ask ma'am and Sanjana and be clear with this.
If you have any queries, I think you should also ask your students to build some models because they are capable of building agentic models these days. A lot of students I've seen have, rather than solving problems, they are looking for shortcuts, and for shortcuts they build models. So uh, you can do that. In the program that I'm working with, yeah, they've done that. We have built a model for them to learn. We wanted them to stick to the steps. For them to get maximum marks, they have to do certain steps. Now, one of the students, was getting lesser marks. So instead of writing, doing it properly, he built a agent to write his answers so that he could score maximum marks. So, I mean, that's also another way of utilizing uh, this.
So today we were just to share something about students and faculty. So today we CEO Dr. Buddha was there, and he narrated an incident where he went to one school and the student of class 6 said that I can, basically I can fool my teachers because what the child was doing was that he was asking one LLM. So like he was asking ChatGPT that I am a brilliant student in chemistry. So give me the answer to how will I answer this question. Then he was taking that answer to Grok and he was saying, I'm a research student and this is the answer that I have, now modify it. And then he would take that answer to a Perplexity or DeepSeek and say that I'm a seven, explain this thing how you would explain a 7-year-old, something like that. And he said, I can, students are so smart these days. And this is a real incident which he narrated. I thought I'll just share it with all of you today because this is
No,
something
that's
that
right. We also have this new, basically this new induction of fresh batch, which is a part of this company. and we have a Chat GPT enterprise model modified engine for them to be tested, evaluated. Because these people were scoring lesser marks, this guy made an agent to score marks. So, and we were kind of seeing his answers, and then we had a doubt why, how can he score perfect 30 every time?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
So basically,
that's
I'm
what
saying that the
teachers should do.
students are so, yeah, and so
Yeah,
teachers
yeah.
have to be really on their feet, because in our times, like when we were younger, we were, as Dr. Buddha said, that teachers were the repository of the all the knowledge. But now the students have so much access to so many things, so much knowledge, that teachers have to always be like on top of their game, so to say.
Absolutely. So my recommendation will be, beside learning this, I think you should just challenge your students with some new scenario for them to build, and I'm sure they will be capable of building something from here. So, yeah, thank you so much, everybody. If you want to sleep early, then I think
We're almost on the dot, just couple of minutes. So I think if all the concepts are clear, so I would also like to thank you, Anjana, for taking such an informative session and sparing your time. And definitely to all the faculty members for patiently listening. And because it's not easy to sit for continuously for 3 hours, we understand that. But thank you so much for joining in, and I will request you to log on to Future Skills Prime to see that course. It's not a very long course, and most of the thing is covered in the lectures. So you just have to quickly read it and take the test. You need to have 100% in test to move on to the next module. The idea is that if you have been listening to the lectures, it will be all very easy for you, and you'll be able to take the test. Just use a little common sense and all the things that you have learned in the lectures. You'll be able to take the test and score 100% in the first go. So just complete the test. We will be having the assessment on Future Skills Prime. It is not on AICT portal. I would like to inform everyone once again. The assessment will be on the Future Skills Prime platform. So yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have any queries, then maybe you should hold on. There are future sessions which are, I think, Amna is conducting the full week, and you can put your queries there also.
Yeah, so we have a WhatsApp group, and though this is the best time to ask your questions, but if there are any things, you can put it in the chat. But obviously, we also have other things to do. So this is the best time to ask your questions. But we will try and respond to all of your queries in the WhatsApp group. And with that, thank you so much. We will end this session now. Tomorrow, see you all at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kamna. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Anjana. Thank
Bye.
you, faculty members. Good night.
Bye.